Is the Hunter Line the weirdest train line in Australia? The Hunter Line is an intercity commuter rail service that runs from Newcastle, located around 160 kilometres north of Sydney, to the towns of Maitland, Dungog and Scone. The line has 28 stations in total. What makes this railway so interesting is that it has some of the quietest train stations on the entire New South Wales Opal network. Of the 10 quietest stations, 5 of them are on the Hunter Line. Visiting this line, it's very easy to see why. These train stations are literally located in the middle of absolutely nowhere, and believe me, from the bottom of my heart, I mean that. These stations make Denniston look like Central. Only around 5 trains run each day in each direction past Tillara, making the line almost unusable. Well, a few months ago, Amy and I drove up to the Hunter for the day and explored these stations.
Hello, this is a video about the Hunter Line.
I know so much about it.
Yes, Amy knows the most. Amy knows more than me. I hope you guys are excited. Do you have anything to say?
Enjoy the video.
Enjoy the video.
Before I continue, massive shout out to my monthly Ko-fi supporters. Please do consider supporting me over on Ko-fi if you can. Also, please subscribe if you haven't already, and do be sure to check out the rest of my channel, your go-to YouTube destination for all things city planning, after the video. Many of you have said that my Wallabies hat is in such a shocking state that I've made the difficult decision to stop wearing it. This is the end, old friend.
Hello, it's me and Amy, and where have we come today?
Lochinvar.
Lochinvar Station. Lochinvar Station.
Lochinvar Station is a station on the main Northern Line, the first station east of Maitland. The station opened in 1860 when the line was extended from Maitland and briefly served as the line's terminus until its extension to Branxton in 1862. The station serves the town of Lochinvar, although one must question how effectively it actually does this, given it's over 2 kilometres south of the town centre. Other than a few properties, including this rather impressive house, there's pretty much nothing at Lochinvar. This largely explains why the station is indeed the quietest station on the entire Hunter Line, and the second quietest on the New South Wales Opal network, receiving less than 2 passengers on average per day in 2023. Lochinvar has 2 platforms in a side platform arrangement. The second platform was added in 1914 according to Wiki, no sources provided though. Now, the station actually used to have these cute little station buildings, but alas, they're no longer there. This is a common theme with all the Hunter Line stations. Many of their station buildings were sadly demolished to help reduce long-term maintenance costs, which I honestly feel is a real tragedy.
Look at the ramp.
How long do you think it takes to walk?
It's insane, right?
I've never seen a ramp like that unless I'm on like roads like here.
Why did they build such a long ramp for such a tiny station?
The ARTC built a third track between Maitland and Whittingham in 2012, and at that time, this pedestrian bridge was built. Also, the former level crossing at Station Lane was removed, replaced by a new road bridge to the west of the station. Now, the confusing part about this pedestrian bridge is that it's so bloody long. There's no stairs, only ramps.
Alright, we're gonna set the record for the fastest time from this platform to the other platform.
Alright, let's do it. 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm just gonna keep talking while you watch us run. It's actually kinda hard to imagine that anyone would use this bridge instead of just directly crossing the tracks, which you used to have to do before the bridge was built, especially given that in the 20 minutes we spent at Lochinvar, not one train showed up. Interestingly, when that third track I was talking about was built, they got rid of a nearby station, Allendale. Lochinvar was lucky enough to survive though.
1 minute and 12 seconds. Good job. So what's it like on the other platform?
It's insane.
One last thing, Lochinvar's town centre is really far from the station, but but the Lochinvar structure plan from 2007 implied an effort to perhaps change this, with proposals for redevelopment of the station, a bus interchange, undercover pedestrian links and more. The words high-density urban development even make an appearance. Chris Mins, I hope you're planning to add Lochinvar Station to the TOD program. The next station on our journey today is High Street. The station had this very barren car park. It also had this footbridge which took you over the station to the platforms, as well as over the New England Highway which hugs the railway here. High Street Station opened in 1856 when the main Northern Line made it to Maitland. The station used to have a station building, but this sadly burnt down in 1987 and was replaced with this waiting shelter. The station's western platform is fenced off. We were lucky enough to actually capture a coal train and a Hunter rail car passing out of the station at the same time.
I thought it was pretty cool that we managed to actually see a train. What do you think?
Yeah, it's cool. That was 2 1 2s.
And they were going away side by side. It's such an epic shot.
They're friends.
They're friends. They're best friends.
Interestingly, High Street is one of 2 stations in the suburb of Maitland, the other being Maitland itself. We didn't visit Maitland though. Sorry. Sue me. Just west of Maitland, the North Coast Line branches off, with a stop at Tallara, which we also skipped. Then there's Oakhampton Station, which is now closed. Next stop, Mindaribba Station. Mindaribba Station opened on the 14th of August 1911, when the North Coast Line was extended to Dungog. Actually, every station from this point on in the video opened on that date, so I'm not going to keep repeating myself. Interestingly, the station opened as Dunmore Station, before being renamed in 1912. The station actually used to have a fairly long platform and 2 station buildings. However, at some point, this entire station was demolished. Right next to the station is this empty plot of dirt and nothing else. If it weren't for the sign on the main road, it would be very easy to miss this station.
You would seriously never guess that there was a train station here, would you?
No.
No. But like, there it is. It's like right there. Insane. There's actually nothing here.
Mindaribba is truly in the middle of nowhere. There's only 1 or 2 properties nearby and they're hardly walking distance. Mindaribba itself only has 97 residents. It's no wonder then that the station is the 3rd quietest station on the Opal network. The station's old platform and station buildings have now been replaced with an extremely tiny wooden platform, one of the shortest you'll ever see. This makes maintenance and upkeep easier for a station that only sees 1 or 2 passengers a day, if that. Mindaribba has a passing loop to the west of the main track. Remember that for later.
Do you have anything to say about Mindaribba? Boo. Boring.
Let me think of something. No, cut the camera.
She never thought of anything.
We've just discovered the smallest Sydney train sign. Have we?
Yeah.
Oh, that's tiny. Like, that's so small.
Kind of cute.
It's kind of cute, eh?
Yeah.
It's like a baby train sign.
Baby.
Alright, let's head to the next station, Paterson. The town of Paterson is home to 960 people, making it far larger than Mindaribba and almost all the other stations we'll be exploring today. It's no wonder then that the station is much busier than the rest, with 1,120 visits in 2023. It's twice as busy as Mindaribba, with an average of 4 passengers a day, not just 2. The station is a rarity on the Hunter line, being the first station in this video to actually still have its original station building. It's got this waiting building and also this goods shed. I believe that this is the former station residence, although do correct me if I'm wrong. In the distance here you can also see a pedestrian bridge over the railway. Kinda surprised they built this given that there's a level crossing just a bit further down the line. The station has a passing loop, as well as a goods siding which lets trains into the neighbouring Rail Motor Society yards, who established themselves here in the 1980s. On that note, let's talk about the old rolling stock of the Hunter line. The Hunter line was hauled by steam locomotives all the way until 1971, the last line in all of Australia to do so. After this, services were hauled by diesel locomotives until 1984, when the 620-720 and 660-760 rail cars started operating on the line instead. Now, the 660-760 rail cars entered service in 1972 and were all withdrawn in 1994, But the 620, 720 rail cars entered service in 1961 and weren't withdrawn until 2007. Currently, the Hunter line is serviced by Endeavour rail cars, which entered service in 1994, and the Hunter rail cars, which entered service in 2007 and are all we saw on the day we went out and explored the line. By the way, this footage that you're currently watching was actually taken at Sandgate Station. It's not in this video. I actually filmed a bonus video for my Ko-fi supporters at Sandgate and Hexham stations, further south on the Hunter line near Newcastle. They're unique in their own way. It's really odd seeing 6 tracks right beside these really quiet stations. You should go and support me if you'd like to watch it.
This is a much nicer station, wouldn't you say? Than the other ones we've seen today.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I like the other ones because they were cool. But this one feels like normal.
Just north of Paterson Station, the line crosses the Paterson River over this truss bridge. Ugh, God, I'm getting Eng 1300 flashbacks. Let's move on. After Paterson, there was a station called Airdrie Station, according to NewSouthWalesRail.net, but we have no idea where it was located. There is very little evidence that it ever existed, other than the odd timetable. The station closed in 1975. Next stop, Martins Creek. In 2023, Martins Creek received less than 600 passengers, grouping it alongside the quietest stations on the Opal network. This isn't that surprising, given that the town of Martins Creek only has a population of 351. Once again, the station used to have a larger station building, built with the station in 1911. However, unlike Paterson, this building hasn't survived. It was demolished in 2009. Although this shed, probably a goods shed, seems to have survived, which is reassuring. There's also a new awaiting shelter next to it. The second track here was once a passing loop, but now it's a siding that heads into the neighbouring Martins Creek quarry. This quarry is an important supplier of railway ballast to the New South Wales rail network. Apparently, the quarry is going to be sold at an auction on May the 22nd, 2024, which, if my calculations are correct, is literally next week. So if you're in the market for a new quarry and have some spare money lying around, say $20 million or so, maybe you should head up there. You could take the train. One last thing is that we saw these railway switches right next to the station, which are probably used to allow trains into the quarry.
Martins Creek, nothing much to say.
Where's Martin?
Oh, good question, where's Martin?
To the north of Martins Creek, there used to be a station called Baroque, which serviced the quarry, but it closed in 1939. As we were heading to our next station, Amy managed to capture this epic shot of an XPT heading up north towards Brisbane. Amazing! Now, we arrive at Hilldale Station. Just like Mindaribba, this station is fairly easy to miss as it's not on the main road.
I was just flying my drone here because the train was due here at 3:47 and then it just did not arrive, right? It's like 20 minutes delayed.
Sydney trains.
Sydney trains, man.
Is it Sydney trains?
Or, well, New South Wales train link moment, I guess. Intercity trains, man. Yeah, it really doesn't.
Well, while we wait for the train, let's go over the station's history. Hilldale has only 193 residents, and so, shockingly, the station is the 9th least used station on the Opal network. Now, for some reason, the station was temporarily closed from 1975 to some unknown date when it was opened again. I believe that at this time, the old larger platform that this station used to have was demolished, just like at Mindaribba, replaced with a smaller concrete platform. This is actually the first station we're visiting in this video that only has one track through it.
Amy, you see that house?
Yeah.
That's like, this station, Hilldale Station, is like their private station. Would you like to have a private train station?
I would actually. I actually have one already.
I want a private train station.
Sorry, one day.
No way, trains are dangerous?
The dog agrees.
Speaking of moving trains, the train finally showed up over 20 minutes late. While you enjoy this drone footage, I'm going to take a moment to discuss with you how frequently trains run on the North Coast line between Maitland and Dungog. Each weekday, almost 40 trains run from Newcastle and terminate at Tallara, but only 5 trains then continue to Dungog, and 5 from Dungog. On weekends, that drops to just 3 a day. So to anyone who is unhappy that we drove between stations instead of catching the train, no, just no, I'm not waiting 2 hours at each station. Of course, there's actually far more trains that use this infrastructure. 6 XPTs every day, 3 in each direction, run to Grafton, to Casino, and to Brisbane using the North Coast line. That's 16 trains every weekday in total that are using the North Coast line, without even factoring freight trains in. So while the line is quiet by Sydney standards, this isn't an abandoned track by any means. Now, almost every station that we're exploring today is a request stop. Weirdly enough, there is just one service each day that isn't scheduled to stop at Mindaribba, the 326 from Dungog to Newcastle interchange. I couldn't work out why this was the case, but someone on my Discord figured out that there are 2 trains that are both scheduled to arrive at Mindaribba at the same time each day, which as a result means that the southbound one must sit in the passing loop. Since there's no western platform, it physically can't stop and let off passengers or take on passengers at Mindaribba. If you too want to outsmart me on Discord, join the Building Beautifully Discord server at the link in the top right.
It's nice, like little bit of street art there.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Beautiful properties.
Beautiful graffiti.
Lush greenery.
Location.
Just before our next station, the North Coast line goes through the 300-metre Wallarobba tunnel. Next station, Wallarobba. Wallarobba is the 7th quietest station on the Opal network. Given Wallarobba has only 174 residents, that's expected.
There's like absolutely nothing here. It's like just empty farmland and just some cows and... Wait, Amy, what's that? Wait, what? No way! Oh! It's my hat! And it's a new version of it! I have my hat back!
Just like many of the others on the line, Wallarobba used to have a much longer platform and old station buildings. Sadly, these have now been replaced with, you guessed it, a short concrete platform with no waiting shelter. It does however have a much longer ramp than the other stations, although that seems to have something to do with residents complaining about the previous ramp being too steep. I don't know, I'm not paying $1 just to read this news article. Someone else can do it for me and let me know.
I am literally cooking out here. It's so hot right now, isn't it? It's actually insane.
Like proper toasty.
We waited patiently until finally another train showed up. Well, actually this is the same train as we saw at Hilldale, because here's a little secret, we filmed this entire video completely out of order. Wallarobba is surrounded by mostly farmland, just like the other stations. We also heard this announcement.
Next train to arrive on platform 1 goes to Dungog. First stop
Wirragulla.
then Dungog.
Why does someone else randomly say Wirragulla? Seriously, if you know, let me know in the comments, I'm so curious.
Hello, this is Wirragulla station. It's pretty cool. It's ridiculously small. It's like Wonderbine, but it's like half a Wonderbine because there's only one platform.
Wirragulla has only 25 residents. Just 25! So unsurprisingly, the station is the 4th least used on the Opal network. For the millionth time, this station used to have station buildings and a bigger platform, but in 1975, just like Hilldale, the station was temporarily closed so that the platform could be turned into a massive spider, kidding, a small wooden platform. The station reopened at some point after that. The platform then became a concrete platform in 2017. The station has this de facto car park and nothing much else.
They have the track work for like all of the city lines, like Sydney lines, like the Metro, the Inner West line, and we're out in like the Hunter. You reckon the people in the Hunter literally care about like track work in the city?
This probably makes their like daily news. Are you kidding?
I'm filming, man.
Hello. I'll wait for a bit.
Is your ass like burning? Because I bet it is.
No, it's not too bad.
Oh yeah? He's lying.
It's not.
No, he's lying, man. That thing is like 3,000 degrees.
My hand's just off. Okay, fine.
Apparently, there was talk of closing Wirragulla in the late 1990s, alongside 2 other Hunter Line stations. Allendale, which we discussed earlier, and Belford. Those 2 ended up closing. But Wirragulla has somehow survived all this time, even though it's not exactly that much different to those 2.
Amy's just found a really terrifying spider.
That's weird.
That is really big Australia moment,
I've never
guys.
seen that kind of spider before. It looks like it has an egg for an abdomen.
Welcome to Australia, guys. Is that our cue to leave?
Yeah, probably.
Here we are at Dungog.
Yay!
The train that we just saw is sleeping.
Yeah, make the noise.
We're at our final stop, Dungog. Dungog is actually a decently sized town with 1,983 residents, and its station is by far the busiest station that we're visiting today, having received 4,000 visits in 2023 and 40,760 since 2016. Dungog served as the terminus of the North Coast Line until 1913, when the line was extended to Taree. Apparently the station used to have only one platform, but was converted to an island platform in 1944, at which point its current station building was built. Dungog is the only station that we've explored today that gets New South Wales regional services, with trains from Grafton, Brisbane and Casino stopping here. I'm not a huge fan of the station building, but I've never been a fan of interwar functionalist architecture. It's just so utterly dull.
Classic New South Wales trains. It is 34 degrees today, and they've decided to keep the air-conditioned train doors open.
The Maccas Street.
So we're on a rail car.
Pretty cool. Yeah, that comes with the spot.
The aircon is like so nice and cool.
Please, sir.
It's pretty cool to be on a single decker train. I haven't been on one before. I haven't been on one before.
What's in the
I haven't been on one before. In Sydney, I mean. Of course not in general, in Sydney. I mean, the metro doesn't count. I've never been on a single decker train in New South Wales.
That's not the metro. That is super specific.
Yep.
Dungog has two platforms. Platform 1 is used the most, serving both the Hunter Line and also New South Wales regional services. Platform 2 is sometimes used by the Hunter Line. The platform is rather strange, covered in grass. Honestly, if you dig further, the platform in general seems really weird. Platform 1 extends further south and Platform 2 extends further north. Dungog also has a good siding and a passing loop. Based off this old map, it certainly seems that it used to be more complicated.
So this is the outro. We actually just filmed the intro, but due to the power of editing and magic, we're talking now, I guess. Yeah.
Do you do this every time?
Do I do what every time?
That whole thing.
What whole thing?
That whole spiel.
Did you enjoy looking at all the stations?
I did.
Yeah.
What was your favorite station?
Well, we haven't seen all the stations yet, but they don't know that.
That's true.
Well, they do know that now, but yeah. In fact, they probably already knew that because I probably already revealed it at some point in the video that I filmed it out of order.
Why did I ask?
So yeah, thank you for watching.
Like and subscribe.
Yes. I mean, usually I say thank you for watching and I'll see you next time, but
Sorry.
fake build it beautifully fun, eh?
So is the Hunter Line really the strangest train line in Australia? No way. In fact, I don't even think it's the weirdest in New South Wales. Southern Highlands Line, I'm coming for you.